Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be now finally talking about my favorite makeup palettes that I tried for 2021. So if you guys want to see all my other products that I was favoring, down to my eyebrows, my eye primers, my foundation, all that would be, I'll probably put it somewhere in the video, but definitely it'll be linked down in the description box, so that way you guys can check out all my other favorite products that I was favoring for 2021. But this one is just strictly for palettes, because for those who don't know, I am a palette hoarder. I love palettes. Like, that's what I get more excited about when it comes to like new makeup releases, is the palette. I'm like, okay, the primer is cool. Okay, I see the lip products. I'm like, do you have a palette with that collection? Whether if it's just a 4-pan palette, a 5-pan palette. It's like, do you have a palette with that collection in order to get my interest? That's how I roll. So I bought a lot of palettes last year. I had so much fun trying out, to the point I bought so many that I didn't even get the chance to try out yet still, but that's okay. We got this year to venture out and, you know, try more things. But we're gonna talk about my top 10. I finally narrowed it down to top 10 because I was like, girl, like, you tried out a lot of palettes, a lot. And I had it down to like 20. Then I was like, okay, that's gonna be too long of a video. So let's break this down a little bit more. So then it went to 15, and I felt like 15 was a little too much. And then I was like, okay, top 10, let's leave it at that. I think that's a perfect number. So let's start from the bottom to the top, boo. So coming in number 10 is the Morphe and Friends palette. The reason why this made it to the top 10, honestly, this had to be my favorite Morphe palette that I've tried overall on the palettes that I have in my collection from Morphe. Overall, just from Morphe in general, because it may look like your typical usual colorful palette, which it kind of sort of is. But I love the color combo in here. It's very different. It makes you think outside of the box when it comes to creating a makeup look. Like, it doesn't have your basic typical rainbow type of palette. Like, there's a lot of deep shades, there's a lot of pastels, we have some metallics, and then you have a little bit of, like, I wouldn't even know what to put these in the category. Like this, like maroon dark plum color, that's a metallic. Then we got this silver that pops right in purple. Like, I don't know, it's just something about this palette that I just like the color combo for. And then I also like the simple fact that the packaging is cute, like, duh. And I just really like the whole collection. Like the lipsticks that came with this collection, just, it's beautiful. So this is why this is number 10 in my category, because she cute. And this is my favorite Morphe palette so far. So boom, there you go. Coming in number 9, honey, this is the Ace Beauty palette. I fell in love with this. I wish I had the opportunity to try it a little bit more, but the reason why this fits so high in my top 10 compared to the other palettes that didn't even make it at all in my top 10, first off, I'm a sucker for packaging, so the packaging is beautiful, but wait till y'all see the inside. Yes, this speaks upon women of color. If y'all don't see the ranges of the purples and the oranges that's in this palette, like, y'all don't understand. Like, not a lot of makeup brands put deep shades of oranges. Like I can't stress enough on how important that is. Like oranges, like different variety of like oranges in it. Like this is what drew my attention to this palette. I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's so many, like, it's very limited on like eyeshadow wise, as in how many eyeshadows is in here, but the choices that was chosen to be put in here, the deep purples, the different maroons, the oranges. Okay, I can't stress so much about the orange. Although this was considered to be a fall palette, I definitely want to do more looks and show you guys how to do a summer look or a neutral look, or, well, it's not really a neutral palette, but you get what I'm saying. Like, this palette is freaking beautiful, so you guys look out. I will be doing more looks using her because she's just beautiful. And then the formula Ace, guys, y'all finally did it, boo. I mean, their quality was already amazing, but now it's like a plus when it comes to the quality. So this is the new improved quality from Ace, and I have to say, I'm in love with the go-go, okay? If you follow me on Instagram, You need to, okay, if you're not. But if you follow me on Instagram, you guys pretty much knew this was like my favorite Colourpop palette that they dropped last year, and that is the Malibu Barbie palette. This is overall my favorite Colourpop palette ever, and let me explain why. First off, I am a Barbie girl, yes, living in a Barbie world, yes, dressed in plastic, okay. But no, I love pink. Pink is my favorite color, so that's the #1 thing that grabbed my attention. And overall, this whole entire collection, I love the mirror, I love the lipstick, and the palette. So when I seen they was going to collaborate with Barbie, I seen so many other collaborations with Barbie and I didn't like it, but this one spoke different to me, like I said, because of the lipsticks and of course the mirror and everything that came with it. But the eyeshadow ranges in here, they're not like special different or anything like that, but they're different as in Colourpop wise. First off, Colourpop, I like this packaging when it comes to like the square eyeshadows. Hint, hint. Yes, yes. I love the color ranges in here. I have tried every, and I do mean every single eyeshadow in this palette, and usually that does not happen when it comes to palette. Like I'll try probably like 50% of the palette, but not 100% of the palette. But y'all, I've tried 100% of every shade in this palette. I did over 7 looks using this palette. Unfortunately, they're only on Instagram, and I think I have like 1 here on YouTube. But what had happened about that, I lost my memory card for all the footages and stuff that I did. But don't worry, I'm gonna come back this year and we're gonna revamp them, recreate them. So it just makes an excuse for me to have more video content for you guys. But I just loved everything. Like it just, you can play around with this palette so many different ways, but you would think like, oh, I can't, you know, it's just like yellows, orange, and pink, that's it, and a little bit of blue. It's like, no, you can go neutral, you can go bright, you can go sunset, you can go all pink, you can go all blue. Baby, like, don't sleep on this palette. Like, if this is still available, you need to get her. This is like the favorite ranges of Colourpop shades I've seen. Like the mattes are deep and rich. Like even the yellow, like the yellow, sis, it shows up on your girl and it's a rich yellow. So that is very important. The peaches, the oranges, the pinks, and the blues, like every shade showed up on your girl. So it's not just one matte color that can kind of sort of go for women of color. No, we were put in the thought process when this palette was created, just a little bit. Okay, all right, I done lost count. What number are we on? Number 6. No, for what number are we on? Hold on. Number 7. So number 7 is the Age of the Opulence palette by Beauty Bay. First off, the packaging is cute. Now my camera's dead, how dare you. The reason why I like this to be number 7, I didn't really get the chance and the opportunity to play with her the way that I wanted to. And that's because I was trying out so many different palettes. It got to the point to where I was trying each palette like one time and then never using it again. I'm like, no, we're gonna change that around this year. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for me trying out maybe a few new palettes and definitely some old classic palettes and palettes that I want to revisit again. So definitely stay tuned if you guys are tuning in for the first time. Your girl's a palette hoarder. You guys want to get some palette looks on the channel. But this one, I love the color ranges. I don't know if y'all know this. I got it on my eyes now that I'm speaking out loud. But purples, pinks, and blue. Something about those deep 3 rich colors. They look so good on women of color. I don't know what it is, but look, baby, I'm spoken truth right here. Like, look at this. Look at look at this, honey. Like little cotton candy swirl going on. And I just absolutely love this palette. I tried it twice. You guys didn't see one of the looks because it didn't come out right. It didn't come out right. It did not come out right because I didn't know what to do. But I will say this is definitely a woman of color palette, not just because of the colors I said definitely complements us, but the richness in this palette, the deep shades in this palette. Like, you can't go wrong with any shade in this palette. Like, they are for us. This palette is for us, okay? And I just love it. I definitely want to come back. I'm like looking at it and I can just play around and mix and match like so many different shades just by looking at this palette and coming up with so many different looks. So I definitely want to come back and just do multiple looks using this palette. Like you can get a lot of different neutral, like champagne, frosty color looks using this palette. Maybe a few matte, you know, neutral look as well, but like it's just the color ranges in here are very different and I just love it. I love how it's just, it goes matte, shimmer, and then it goes back the other way. Like these metallic frosty colors on a whole different ball game. Like their texture of it is very creamy to the point it glides on like butter when it comes to the metallic eyeshadows. And then of course the mattes are just absolutely beautiful. But I want to come back. Like even these odd like green colors, like it's just, I don't know, I feel like I have all my thoughts in my head and they just not coming out correctly. But just know that this palette, she a banger, okay? Like if you don't got her, then what are you doing? Hopefully this is in stock, but she's definitely a banger. And this blue right here, oh my gosh, she is beautiful. And this purple, I tried this purple. Y'all make sure y'all check out the look that I did use using this palette. I still head over heels over that look. It was just absolutely beautiful. All right, so the next one is the one I actually used today for today's makeup look, and that is the Beats by Deb palette. This is the Color for Days makeup palette. First off, the packaging is what made it so high. The packaging, the glitter. For those who don't know, also I love pink. Yes, you guys know that, but I also am crazy over glitter. I'm always having some sort of glitter somewhere incorporated in my makeup looks. If it's not a glitter, it's like a shimmer that can kind of fall as glitter. And then I got glitter nails, like, so your girl love her some glitter. So if I was to create a makeup line and definitely a palette, this would have definitely been my palette because of the glitter. Like I just love glitter. And this is not the type of glitter that like comes off, rubs off, and it's all on your hand like the Anastasia palette. No. Like this is like the details of this package is so beautiful. It's nice and thin, but wait till y'all see the Color for Days eyeshadows in here. Yes, this is your typical like rainbow palette, but what made this palette special is because it's owned by a woman of color. Okay, and number two, these eyeshadows are so freaking buttery. Like they own a whole nother level. Like when you guys see this tutorial, then we can talk. But y'all, the eyeshadows are so buttery, they so creamy. It's just, I don't know what some of these brands are like lab they're going to, but I'm loving it. So invest in buttery. Like if your palette, if your eyeshadows are not buttery, I don't want it. It ain't for me. I don't want it. But this palette is just so beautiful. The ranges in here, like it's missing a few like colors I would have liked to been in here, like maybe a lighter pink, a richer purple, a lighter blue, a darker green, but the colors that are in here are still different and unique when it comes to being a rainbow palette. So I give sis that. I give her all of that. Okay, so yes, this is number 6. All right, now we are moving down to the top 5. Now these 5s hold a special place in my heart, and you guys can probably predict my top 5s because not only do I love them so much, but I have made numerous makeup tutorials using these palettes, like on and off camera. Like I can't even explain. Jacket. Yes, so I was a little bit late to the show. You know, Jackie Ann I think came out in 2020 or 2019, one of those years, but I got my hands on her last year and fell in love with sis. Like sis is like everything. The packaging is beautiful, the little snake skin with the holographic effect. Yes, Miss Jackie with her signature sign. Yes, Miss Jackie. And then the colors in here. Yes, Miss Jackie. Like sis, like I have tried over, I want to say 7 looks using this palette, and that's a lot coming from a palette hoarder. Like there's not a lot of palettes that get that type of love in my collection to where I have used it more than 5 times, to be honest. I'm just being honest. So when I use it more than 5 times, then you know it holds a special place in my heart, because it's just something about this palette, and that's what it is. So being that this was collaborated with a woman of color, Miss Jackie, yes, she knew exactly what shades was going to complement, not only for the melanie complexion, but just for all skin tones in general. So every shade range in here, I feel like it complements every shade. It's just like, Jackie, like, girl, like, Anastasia, I think, is definitely sleeping on how good this palette is, and they're definitely sleeping on Miss Jackie. I am like, I'm gonna put it in the atmosphere. They need to come out with a part 2, because Jackie knew what she was doing. Y'all, this little green brown eyeshadow is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, these browns is good. The metallic shades is good. The purple is like, like, sis, like, I have numerous makeup looks using this palette, so you guys definitely check it out. I will link them somewhere in this video, whether if it's in the description box or up here somewhere. But Miss Jackie, y'all will definitely be seeing her some more this year, because she's not going anywhere. I haven't ran out of any like ideas. Like, I got so many other looks in mind that I can do using this palette. So Jackie, girl. Coming in number 4, y'all already knew. Yes. So I really had a brain fart, so I had to sit here and think. I'm like, hey, when exactly? Because in my head I thought I used this palette 2 years ago, but no, that was literally the beginning of last year, where I went ham, where I went crazy on this palette, because it's just, when I got it, I think I got sent it in my BoxyCharm box. I couldn't stop playing with it. Like, Ace, again, you made it on another number for my top 10. Y'all, this palette is beautiful. The color ranges, the formula. Now this one, I don't think this is part of the new formula, but the formula period from this palette is just absolutely beautiful. Like I said, Ace Beauty always had a good formula when it came to the palette, so just to enhance it and make it even more richer, make it more creamier, make it more buttery, like, it's just, they did their damn thing. So y'all see, I'm a colorful girl, so I have a lot of colorful eyeshadow palettes. They may look like the same to you, like, oh, that's a pink and purple, that's like the other palette. No, they're different. Like, the color stories are different. If you don't understand, then you're not a palette person, so get off my page. Don't watch, you don't understand. But y'all, I could have did the look that I have on my eyes with this palette, but no, I don't have a blue. So in here, this palette is beautiful. This yellow, I can't even talk, but just know this was my baby. I did multiple looks using this palette. I can't even think how many looks I did. I think I did a total of 6 looks as well using this palette, and just the palette in general. And your girl got reposted from her, so Ace Beauty, what it do, boo? Okay, like, I love you, you love me, so that's what it is. Number 3. Oh my god. So this was the only palette in my collection from my top 10 that was not considered a color palette. Yes. Yes. Y'all know I'm not a neutral girl, but lately I just been like really like gravitated towards like simple looks, soft looks, smoky eyes, a neutral, bronze, you know, in those mix. And it was something about this palette. I have a few other neutral shade palettes, but this one spoke different to me. And I think why, because the person who created this palette, which goes by the name by Melissa, I think Makeup by Melissa or Makeup Melissa on Instagram, something like that. But these palette, the color choices, the ranges, they're not your basic neutral palette. And I love the fact that there's a special row just for metallic eyeshadows. And I still haven't learned fully on how to use these metallic eyeshadows, because they're very different. They have a bit of a creamy buttery effect, and I still haven't figured out if I'm supposed to use it dry, am I supposed to use it wet. I still haven't learned which method works better, but I just know that it's beautiful. And then the mattes, like, I like the simple fact that you have different ranges of browns. Like, you don't just have 2 browns, okay, that's it. No, there's ranges of browns, there's different shades of nudes, there's different shades of orange. And what I have never seen in a neutral palette, y'all, sis put in pink shades as well. Do y'all see that? There's pinks in here. people don't think pink can be a soft neutral color, but it can. It really can, especially for the shade ranges she put in this palette. Like, my camera's not even giving this palette any justice, because these pinks are very bold, and I don't want to say bold, but they're very vibrant. Like, it's not soft when you look at her, because I did an actual look using this pink and I thought it was gonna be like a little bit like a softer pink, but no, boo, it wasn't. And it was just absolutely beautiful, and I just fell in love with this palette. I feel like every time I feel like doing a basic neutral type of anything neutral related, I'm always grabbing this palette, and the formula, just the eyeshadow choices in here is just absolutely beautiful. So don't knock it till you try it, okay? And did I tell y'all sis is a woman of color as well? Come on, sis. Come on, sis. It's not a pattern here, but you get what I'm saying, okay? All right, number 2. Yes, number 2. The tie-dye palette. I told y'all the moment I tried this palette out, the packaging, first off, is beautiful. But the moment I tried this palette, I told you guys this was going to be my favorite palette for 2021. So this almost made it to the #1 spot. Almost, but it didn't. Came in number 2, so it was pretty damn close. But the packaging, absolutely beautiful. But the reason why this one came before Beats by Deb palette, because it's pretty much kind of sort of the same, but not really. It's a white and a black in here. It is a white and black in here. I can't stress enough how important that is to have those colors mixed with rainbow. So it's not your typical rainbow palette. Like, there's some white eyeshadow and a black eyeshadow in here, which made this even more perfect, because I can be so versatile when it comes to my colorful looks. Like, people think like, oh, you don't need a white or a black inside of a rainbow palette. Like, it's gonna throw it off. Sis, where? Sis, where? Okay, I did numerous looks using this palette as well. I think like total of like 6, 7, 8. I have truly lost count, truly. And not only that, y'all, your girl made it to Hank and Henry page as well. I can't stress you and excite you on how many times they have reposted my pictures. Like, Hank shows me so much love when it comes to me doing any type of makeup look using his brand. And I also want to give him credit, because he gave me a special dedicated shout out personally from his own personal page. Yes, and I swear to you, it gained me like over like 400 like new followers just from Instagram within one day. And I was just like no one has showed me so much love. And it's just I can't even explain it, but I was just so genuine on how sweet and how humble he is. And I can go on and on with this makeup line in general, not just because who he is as a person, but for the love that he puts in his makeup brand. Is absolutely beautiful. Like, I love his lipsticks. I love the blushes. Oh my gosh, the highlighters. Like, Hank and Henry did his damn thing for 2021. Like, he was stepping on people's necks, okay? Like, snatching edges off, like, still growing, still doing his damn thing. Like, I have so many other palettes from this brand, and it just, the formula never disappoint me, the color choices never disappoint me. But this colorful palette is so special because of that white and black that's mixed in here, and then the color choices of these teal, turquoise, green, like, ooh, and the pink, ooh, and purple, ooh. Like, this was a really beautiful palette. And this yellow, I've never seen this yellow in any palette that I own. From all of my palettes, I've never seen this beautiful neon highlighter yellow in a palette. And every color that you see in here, you know, it looks okay. I wonder if it's gonna be that vibrant on the eyes. Yes, it's highlighter on the eyes. I've tried it all, you guys. I've tried almost every shade in here, and this palette is absolutely beautiful. It's the one that I always gravitate to, and this is why she is number 2. Y'all ain't gonna guess number 1, and the reason why y'all not gonna guess it is because this was another these video clips were deleted off of my memory card by accident, and I had like a total of 12 looks using this palette. Like, it got to the point to where I used this palette for like 3 months straight, And it was unfortunate that I lost the memory card at first, so I wasn't able to upload any of the content on YouTube. And then when I found it, my camera that I used to film on broke, and then somehow it erased all of the footage that was on that memory card. And I created so many different looks using this palette, to the point I got mad at myself that I didn't even show the pictures on Instagram. So no one knows what this palette is and why it's #1. So y'all probably wouldn't have predicted this, because I don't think y'all would have known that I fell in love with this palette. I don't know what it is. First off, the packaging is freaking cute. It's unique. It's different. But the ranges and formula that's been put into this palette is on a whole nother level. So yes, this is owned by a woman of color. Hey sis, how you doing, boo? And let's just say she come out with another palette, I'm on it. I'm on it like cheese and crackers. I'm on it like cheese and crackers, okay? Look at this palette. First off, the color story I've never seen before in any palettes. I'm not even gonna lie, when I first got the palette, I was like, it's so much going on. But the moment you start putting a brush into an eyeshadow and you go on to your next, like you can come up with so many different looks. And I think the way she placed the eyeshadows is actually perfect and kind of creative in a sense, because it makes you think outside of the box on what colors to create and combine. And if you look really closely on certain ranges of the palette, you have like odd combos you wouldn't put together. This peach, this blue, this burgundy, and then this pink. I would have never put these together, but they look so good together. Look, and this right here, I've been looking at these colors for the longest together, and I want to create a combo with these colors. But it's like splatter like throughout the palette, where you can like really see like odd like color combos together. So I think the way she placed this palette when it came to like the ranges of colors was absolutely perfect. But y'all, when I tell y'all these matte shades was on a whole nother level, this was my first buttery matte palette that I've ever tried for 2021. And I just have to give sis credit. She was the #1 who came out with this buttery formula eyeshadow that I've never seen before. And I was just like, what is this? This is something different. This something special. She one of a kind. And then don't get me started on these metallic formula. Sis, I don't know what lab you went to, but they deserve like an award, like for real. Like what you did and the color ranges and the placements of the shades, like it's so beautiful. And what I also like about this palette, because it's so different and kind of caught me off guard, and when you look at this palette you probably think it's in here, but it's not. There's not one brown shade in this palette, which I was kind of like thrown off. I was like, wait, where's the transitions? Like, where they at? Right here, right here, right here. Any matte shade you see in here can be a good transition color. And I like the fact that she didn't put a brown in here, because that would have made me go to my basic, you know, looks that I do. But like I said, this palette definitely makes you think outside of the box and just create different color combos. And it's just amazing. I'm so happy and satisfied. So y'all will be definitely be seeing a lot more looks using this palette. I created over 12 looks and more using this palette, and I'm never disappointed with any of the shades. So y'all just wait and see. But yes, those were my top 10 makeup palettes that I absolutely loved for 2021. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys had at least one of these palettes that I mentioned, because if you did, let me know down in the comment section which palette that you own from my top 10 collection. And if you guys feel the same way, definitely let me know. Or if you want to, feel free, share your top 10 palettes down in the comment section. Go ahead. I will definitely love to see what you guys were favoring for the month of 2021. If you guys can narrow it down, because like I told you, it was really hard, but I'm very happy with the choices that I did come up with for my top 10. And like I said, y'all gonna be seeing them throughout this year, so don't sleep on none of these palettes. And if you don't have your hands on none of these palettes, you better at least get your one in your collection, okay? At least get you one, because when you try them, then we can talk, okay? But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Stay blessed, stay amazing, and I'll see you guys on my next upload.